Spider-Man. Across the Spider-Verse, the movie plot you should know. Brooklyn, Earth 1610. The place where Miles Morales lives. Beginning of the incident at a grocery shop, where a man entered not to buy something but was looking for an ATM machine. The man made a hole in the ATM machine easily, in a unique way. It was very clear he wanted to rob the money in the ATM machine. But it didn't go smoothly, because the money in the machine was tightly clamped. The shop owner realized something was wrong. The shop owner then beat up a strange man who was trying to damage the ATM machine. The man dodges the punch while telling that he used to be a scientist in the Alchemax company. Then something happened, a small accident happened to him. And Spider-Man suddenly appeared there. The man finally told him that he was the Spot. Spot said that the spots on his skin were not a costume, they were his skin. There's not much for them to talk about when Miles Morales' parents call, and Miles has to catch a Spot ASAP. After successfully securing a Spot, Miles then hurriedly went and met his parents, who were waiting for him to discuss continuing education for Miles. But their discussion had not finished when Miles sees from the window that Spot has managed to escape and throw a tantrum again on top of a building. Miles soon leaves his parents, amidst a tough discussion about his education plans. Miles' mother looks disappointed at her son's behavior, but again, Morales' father also has to go because of the call of duty, to stop the super villains who are messing up. Miles and his father are together this time to catch the Spot. Spot and Miles' fights take them back to Alchemax. That's where Spot transforms into who he is now. Remembering that makes Spot hate Spider-Man even more. Spot tells Miles that he used to work on experiments on the Interworld device that brought Spider-Man from another dimension here. Alchemax number 42. The spider ran away and accidentally bit Miles. Spot's lab spider turns Miles into Spider-Man. Then Miles goes to the buffet, and Spider-Man hits the Spot. So basically, Spot creates Miles to become Spider-Man, and Spider-Man creates Spots to become a supervillain. Spot, who used to be a normal human, must lose himself, his face, his family, and lose his job. At that time, in the room where they are now standing, Miles blew up Kingpin's interdimensional linking machine. The chemical liquid that was in Spot's hands at that time also exploded and turned him into a super villain like today. Spot wanted to attack Spider-Man, but instead he fell into himself. Since that incident, Spot has come to know that every speck that surrounds him can take him wherever he wants. Spot transforms into an extraordinary being with metadimensionality, literally tearing the fabric of time and space. Now the power of the multiverse is in Spot's hands. Meanwhile, Earth Spider-Man 13122 immediately reported to the Spider Society headquarters about the Spot threat. That day there was a celebration on the rooftop of the apartment to celebrate the promotion of Miles' father, Jefferson Davis. But the problem was, of the many people present, Miles was nowhere to be seen. Miles arrives late with a congratulatory cake that has been messed up. What's worse is that his father and mother continue to chase Miles, asking for answers why Miles just left them while they were in a room with women discussing Miles' education. Miles' parents have never even seen any of Miles' friends. What exactly makes their child look so busy? Miles is very annoyed at his parents because they punish Miles with confinement for 2 months. Miles are not allowed to go anywhere. Miles calms his mind by listening to music in his room. It was during that quiet moment that Miles didn't notice that something had happened in his room. A portal had opened, and Gwen was there calling his name. Miles opens his eyes, surprised by Gwen's presence. Gwen hugs Miles. How could Gwen suddenly be in his room? Gwen asked Miles out, but Miles said that he was getting punishment from his parents to stay at home. Why Spider-Man can't leave? Miles is now with Gwen. They talk about many things. Miles now knows that there is an anthology community, where all the spiders belong. Gwen even told Miles about a spider woman named Jess Drew. Spider-Man Society seeks to prevent the multiverse from collapsing. Unbeknownst to Miles, Gwen installed a surveillance device in a building, to spy on Spot, a criminal who is being targeted by Spider Society. Because they haven't seen each other for a long time, Gwen and Miles sit and share stories. In fact, they are both the same, two people who don't have many friends to talk to. Gwen even says that Miles is the only real friend she found after she lost her boyfriend Peter. That night, Miles takes Gwen to his father's promotion celebration. Miles looks at the bracelet Gwen uses. It looks really cool. Is it possible that if Miles has a bracelet like that, then he will also travel with Gwen? Save the multiverse. In the middle of the chat, Miles' mother suddenly joined the small talk. Miles' father also joined. But Gwen gets an emergency call and has to leave immediately. A brief meeting and Gwen said goodbye. But surprisingly, Miles' mother softens. She even asks Miles to go after Gwen. Her mother tells Miles not to forget where he came from. Immediately Miles chases Gwen. Miles sees what Gwen is doing from afar. Gwen took back the surveillance device she had installed to scout the spot. That night there were already a lot of police there. Using invisible mode, Miles follows Gwen. Gwen plays the results of the surveillance device and finds that Spot has made his stronger and he can go anywhere he wants. With help from Spider Society, Gwen finds out that the current Spot is going to Mumbaton, Earth 50,101. Also, Jess Drew is mad at Gwen because she went to meet Miles. Gwen shouldn't have done that. But Drew gave Gwen a chance to correct her mistake by sending Gwen to Mumbaton, and Gwen will be with Spider-Man, who is in EART 50,101, to capture the Spot. Miles sees and hears all their conversations between Gwen and Spider-Man Society. There is no other choice. Gwen enters the portal and she will no longer meet Miles. Miles looked at the portal and thought of something.